Hello and welcome to Nintendo Voice, your voice for everything Nintendo. This is episode 116, recorded on the 22nd of November 2017. My name is Lewis Pugh, and joining me to talk Nintendo, we have Harrison Milfeld.
Hey everybody, and happy early Thanksgiving to everybody here in the States.
Indeed.
And Colin Crompton.
Hello, folks. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. We don't really celebrate over here, but
when is your guys' Thanksgiving?
We don't have Thanksgiving.
we don't really have one. Yeah, it's just.
I'm thinking of Canada. Canada has their own Thanksgiving, and that was in October. So okay.
We could have our own sort of Turkey Day, though. Like, we've not claimed it yet, so we could be the first. All right, we're going to have a Turkey Day this time of the year.
The Nintendo Voice Turkey Day.
Oh, is it going to be sponsored as well now, is it? I just want to be like nice, family, festive fun.
You said we could claim it.
Corporate branding. I just meant as a country, as a unit. Anyway, we are a Nintendo podcast, and today we've got what we've been playing. We've got some Nintendo news, and that's going to be the two-part for today. We do have some new games I see on the agenda to talk about, and some updates to some older games, and something a little bit different as well, a little bit random, as it were. Let's start off with Harrison. What have you been up to on your Nintendo Switch?
2 words: Rocket League.
That gives it away.
Guess the game.
That is it.
I mean, it kind of does and it doesn't, because like Rocket League's like this known quantity, but I genuinely don't know how it is on the Switch. So please take it away. Let us know your thoughts.
Well, long and short of it, it works wonderfully on the Switch right there. It really does. And even like for someone who actually first started playing, this game, well, when it was like kind of like through its whole kind of wandered obscurity for so long through like on PC and the PS3 era, whatever, I think was only available to like Sony PlayStation Plus members, I think, during the PS3 area. But this was when it was called, this is a long one of a name. It wasn't called Rocket League at the time. It was called Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket-Powered Battle Cars. And yeah,
right off the tongue.
Right, yeah, right off there. Say that as much as, but that title was so long that it got cut off, I think, on its description or whatever, like on the PlayStation Online store. So, play that. I would actually play this game with friends over to their house, whatever, and they would refer to it as just car soccer because
pretty much what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is, and you just can't really want to say the name, like some of those syllables in that name you don't want to go off, whatever. But to me, though, Rocket League, for anybody who has been living under a rock, is just a high-powered fusion between soccer and driving, and I can't believe how much fun I'm having with this right now, but also it gives you a bit of a rude awakening when you're online because this is with cross-platform play with the Xbox One and PC users. So once I think it was like my first match I got with them, I was losing at least by double digits and with no goals on my end. So be prepared for something like this. But for something like Rocket League, it just feels tailor-made for the Switch and online, and especially for the whole, for the Switch's on the go bits of its own hybrid concept. So it just, even if anybody like there feels like a little turned off by the huge competitiveness that what Rocket League has in the esports scene, don't let that scare you away. There's plenty of depth in this game to actually just want you to go through it. Even with the car customization, which of course has its own little Nintendo exclusives, like you can have Samus's gunship, and then you could have car toppers, which have Mario and Luigi hats, and I hope there's more probably coming in the future for that. So
I reckon we may see some more down the road. Something I'm curious about. So this is kind of a general Rocket League question. So you get the kind of the very basic premise. You're playing football, soccer as it were, with cars. How long do the matches last for, roughly?
5 minutes.
Is it like exactly 5 minutes? Like you've got a 5-minute timer. At the end of it, whoever's got the most points wins.
It's 5 minutes basically, and the only time it stops is between when you score goals. So
cool.
Yeah, so you have that, and I mean, again, there's customization things for this, whatever, as well, between 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, and up to like 4v4. So there's a lot that you can do with this, and also there's a basketball mode into this as well if you want. And I think it's only available in the offline mode to this, but
Okay.
But back to online though, I would say this runs really really smooth, and it's.
I was going to ask about the online mode. Any lag? 'Cause that's
Like I said, the only bit of I will say though, matching up with people with your friends, it runs really well. But in terms of like lag, it works wonderfully when it's docked. But when I have it undocked though, I would say don't stray too far away from your router. That's really you want to say. Like just be relatively close if you don't want.
Just carry it around with you wherever you go.
Yeah. So I mean, just that's to say. I mean, it's nothing. But again, it's only happened to me a few times, but not to a point where I want to stop actually, undocking my Switch to play Rocket League. Now, visually though, this is not really up to par in terms of like its PC and high-end console counterparts. I feel like though it's a little bit worse when you look at it undocked because you can see within it like draw distance and even the crowd, bit of the jagged polygons and textures. But again, it's not much bothersome to take you away from the whole experience and gameplay that you're having fun with.
It's not really about the visual fidelity of this kind of game. It's you need it to run smooth, and that's basically it. It's not really about look how shiny it is. It's like look at these cool goals I'm scoring because the game was running smoothly.
And for something that runs smoothly like this has been ported over by Panic Button, which of course were responsible for the Doom port on Switch. So they do realize how important it is to actually take something that's underpowered to its competitors and able to make it work on such a small device like this.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if we'll see Panic Button become like
the Switch.
like
the Switch ports.
Rocket League. Are they a week apart? Two weeks at most?
Yeah, I believe they're a week apart.
Haven't they? I was like, yeah, Panic Button. 1 week.
they're like the rare back in
Pull the third-party library out.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've been working on this for a while, though. I mean,
yeah.
Let's say, and I would not be shocked if they're probably helping out Bethesda with actually.
Oh yeah.
Or well, no. Actually, no. Well, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they're working with Bethesda on Wolfenstein: The New Colossus. But I did find out that the company that helped port over Skyrim to the Switch, and I'm kind of glad they didn't mention this because that would have gotten a lot of people worried over the summer whether the quality of the port is. It was the same company that helped out put the PC port of Batman Arkham Knight, which of course was not met with much fanfare the first time around. So, but beside that, from what I read, the Skyrim port has actually been reviewing really well. It's just 5-6 years after its release, you're definitely seeing as far as the core portion of Skyrim, you're like, okay, how often can we cut this, the same way and serve it up? So
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, a random factoid I heard about the Skyrim or the Switch version of Skyrim is it actually has a more stable frame rate than the remasters on PS4 and Xbox One. If frame rate is your priority, the Switch apparently wins on those versions.
The only downside I have to Skyrim on Switch is the price because it's like very recently come out for Switch, but it's nowhere near in line with what the competition's got. Price wise, it's a lot more expensive on Switch,
and that's what kind of may upset me going in if it doesn't sell as well. I mean, it's a quality port. It's just you're gonna have people in here want to buy, but it's a matter of will they want to double dip again for that price? So,
exactly. Yeah.
And but again, enough of that. Whatever. I mean, my only final thoughts on Rocket League is go out and buy it really for something like that for fun. I mean, if you want another great multiplayer experience on the Switch. This is one that's going to be, I feel like, is going to be played a lot for the near future. So
it does sound like it's going to be up my alley. I've never played any version of Rocket League.
Exactly, I'm in the same boat. I'm thinking I could get into this. I don't have a Switch yet. But...
I will say though, when you first play, my best piece of advice is go through the tutorials first.
I was going to say avoid the online.
Well, get to the tutorials first to kind of and go to more of the advanced tutorials. These will teach you a little bit more in how to whether it's centering a ball or just going more on the defensive. Because I will say another bit of this: don't go straight to the ball when you get to it. Whether it's when you're in 4v4, you got to have a point where you're back defending, or you're there to actually help clear like a team that's on the other team that's on the offensive. And I don't know, like as someone who played soccer probably growing up for most of the majority of my life, one of the things is, yes, if everybody's just gaining up on the ball, it does not look right.
No.
It really doesn't. So there has to be some strategy into this.
There's some roles you have to play. So yeah.
Yeah. But there is, I don't know, but there is something satisfying when you're lined up, like it's randomized depending on where you are. Like after each goal, like for instance, right for kickoff, I'd be right in the center. And I just have enough just to boost to a point where, like, once the whistle blows, I just boost as high as I can, and I just time it right where I want to jump. And even if it's some newbies online, I don't know, there's just something satisfying of just being that cheap person where you just launch it off the kickoff and it just sails right into the goal. So
yeah, that sounds fun. And I do like the idea of the 5-minute matches, just because of playing a lot more of things like Splatoon 2 and ARMS and games of that nature. It is kind of these short burst competitive online games. I'm finding I actually do have quite a liking to, whereas I kind of still quite shy of these more commit to much longer gaming sessions for online. 5 minutes, and you can play as many rounds as you feel you need to, or you can, as it were. But if you've only got 10 minutes, you can still have time for a game, which is cool.
No, these are relatively quick matches, and I was like going through saying to myself, I'm like, are these at least 3, or like I feel like it's a 3 minutes where it's like very slow ticking, but no, I believe this is 5 minutes. But whatever the case, these are relatively short matches, so like get in play, have your own thing there.
Cool.
So awesome.
So that's what I've been playing.
Nah, sounds good. I think we already know Rocket League's doing fairly okay on Switch, but it'd be good to get some, maybe not exact numbers, but just some more information around
more solid numbers.
Yeah, whether the Switch audience is, because we know Rocket League's already been very successful on other systems, and Harrison mentioned early on it was free on PlayStation Plus on its first week of release, I believe. And so it had a huge injection of amount of online players right from the get-go. So it should be interesting to see if Switch can compare. Especially, maybe not the free, but Switch is doing well, so you never know. Maybe it will. I think I like to jump in with my own game update here. Nice, break up the Lewis voice a bit before we hit the news. And so I've been playing some bits, some different games, but I've always been playing ARMS. And the reason why I want to mention ARMS is because there's some new things in ARMS. Things we've kind of spoken about theoretically.
Yep.
That work. But we've not actually known what it is. And so the first thing is there's a new character now.
Okay.
And it was last week's show, we knew there was a new character coming, right? But we didn't know any more than that.
I think so. I can't really recall.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was last week's show. And we just
It was at one point where it was being teased for a new character, which we did get.
Yeah, they said there was, I think it was basically the next day. Yeah, because I remember how my conversation went about it now. And they committed, all right, tomorrow there's going to be an update to the game as a new character, new arms, new mode. No new stage even. But we didn't know what it was. And so it dropped. And we now know the new character is a character called Misango. I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Like for everybody listening, no, not Misingo.
Yes. Very, very different type of beast here, as it were. And this guy is fairly special in the sense that what is special about him, apart from his visual design, is that he has this little floating thing next to him at all times. It's kind of like this weird creature, but it changes color. And it flashes between 3 different colors, this little creature. And you can activate it by doing like a long charge. And then depending on what color he'll turn into a mask, which you wear. And it gives you an ability, 1 or 3 abilities, depending on the color.
Okay, all right.
And it can boost your strength or your speed, or I think the other one's your defense. But it adds another cool little wrinkle, an extra cool, another layer. because I've been playing around with the character, and I know that if you put some time into it, and you not only worked out when best to use one of those free like boosts, as it were, but had the skill to activate at the right time, then execute what you needed to. I think he's going to be an incredibly versatile character, and he's got some cool arms which come with him as well. So yeah, I was very surprised because I was thinking, they announced it the day before. It's probably just going to be Springtron, which is like a bonus boss they added in last time.
Right.
So, they'll just bring him. But no, he's this brand new design, really cool new mechanic, which none of the other characters even have anything similar to. And yeah, he's a cool original design as well. I'm very impressed, and he was free. Hey,
yeah, you can't complain about free stuff.
Exactly. And it's fun to play, and also fun to fight. It's sort of fun fighting against him because you go, all right.
So
I wonder if the player specializes on one of the three particular abilities and waiting for that and going to do one of those, or he's waiting for his moment.
I think, okay, so you've had a lot of arms. My question to you, Lewis, is: do any of the characters feel potentially stronger than others? Is there a character that stands out to you that's like this is a competition winner? Maybe
early on, but right. I don't think so anymore. I think they're all pretty even.
Because that's
quite surprising. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think like arms, it kind of helps that you kind of have less options compared to a traditional fighting game.
Okay.
They don't really have lots of moves per se. They just handle differently. And some of them do have like a unique move sort of thing which you can activate. But it's always, it's all motion controls. Well, it doesn't have to be motion, but it's all about, how you throw the arms, and you can still completely customize which arms on which arm. That doesn't work. But yeah, you do have arms on arms.
On arms, yes.
You do have your arms on your arms. They really missed the key feature there. It really is about the fists and not the arms. The game, even if it's the arms that extend. But yeah, no. To answer the question, no, they are really well balanced.
Okay.
Even I think originally there was a bit of debate whether, because Max Brass, who wasn't originally a playable character but was the end boss, it was like, when they add him, he's gonna be a bit OP.
Right.
But no, that they kind of balanced him in a really nice way. Yeah, I don't see any particular character dominating like either the party mode or the rank modes. Really good variety, which is
the only character I really saw early on that people did not like early was it was Ninjara. But also there's this move where people like to kind of spam the grab move, which is just they throw both your arms out to whatever direction to anybody else, and you just spin them around and you just hit them. So
not so much anymore in terms of Ninjara, because I mean we're up to 13 characters now. And yeah, I feel you get a pretty fair mix. You jump into a party match and you probably have a few players playing as the same character, but that'd be about it. Which is quite impressive. The other thing, go on.
I was going to ask, do you use motion controls or are you a button?
I've pretty much exclusively motion for this game.
Really? Oh, must be tired. I was like, one fight, be like, that's for the controls down.
I think that's part of the fun in that game, though.
Fair enough.
But you treat your own, and yeah, I mean, like one of the little updates was, you can now fully map the controls how you want.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, regardless of motion or not, you can change what every button is now.
Awesome.
Which is cool because the default motion controls, oddly, to change your focus on a different character, you have to press like down on the D-pad, and you kind of hold it right like this, if you're watching the camera at least. And so you kind of have to press it with this finger here, and it would be a pain.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, you can just map it onto a different shoulder button now, cool, which is pretty cool. And in the same way, where I think there were some complaints originally on how the button controls were. I think they set some things to triggers, or I think they had. Actually, no, I think they had like guard on the click and the stick or something.
Oh, really? Wow.
Exactly. But you can.
What a bizarre twist that is.
Exactly. But I like you. They get it. And kind of with the theme of adding things to ARMS, is I've only just, as in like within the last hour, played a new mode in ARMS, which is the party crash mode, and it's kind of as the name the mode suggests, it's like
Is that late for parties and just like throw yourself in
it
it?
replaces the party mode, because there is a party mode in the game, which is your you jump into the lobby, essentially the online lobby,
Right.
and then it starts grouping you up. Right? Oh, it's going to be a 1v1 for you people. You four here are going to fight together, and then for you three over here, you're going to fight headlock as a team, and then who wins, and then we'll pair you up again.
That's cool.
And so the base is that mode, but it kind of applies almost a Splatfest like extra layer on top of it. So
You're fighting for a cause, or
no, not fighting for a cause, but there's. I just want to show you some little details. And again, if you're audio only listener, I'm showing some visual cues for the video audience, and so it also changes your home screen, which I thought was cool, including the theme music. So it does feel a little bit different, which is the first. Oh, okay, maybe a little Splatfest vibe going on. But when you're actually in the mode itself, you do gain like unique experience, which you don't normally.
Okay.
And then at the end of the event, which lasts for, I think it's 3 days, this event, you cash that in for in-game, obviously, coins, and I think arms as well, and possibly something else. But you also earn like bonuses, because I played 3 matches, not boasting at all, but naturally won every match. But by the 3rd match, there was a series of like multipliers, and so I went up like 4 levels, winning just my 3rd round. And I was like, "Oh, this is cool." And I also know, on the 3rd match, I was restricted. Like in terms of the arms I got to use, it just presented me with just these different arms, this different set of 3, which I don't usually use. So that's bizarre. Okay, I've got to choose between these 3. And I think that was like another bonus because I won with that. Despite it changing up my arms, I had an extra bonus on top. But yeah, it's a really cool twist onto that mode. And yeah, it also has on the lobby, it highlights whoever has the most amount of kind of accumulated experience in that lobby, and then to everybody else, and then like this meter which is going back and forth. So that was cool. I got onto that. Yeah, it's fun, and it was more so I think because it was unexpected. It was never hyped up. This mode, oh, this mode's coming.
yeah,
Get
that's
ready
what
for
kind of
it.
surprised me. They dropped a new mode in arms. It's like, what, we normally get like a direct about this?
Exactly. Yeah, no, I'm not. I can't remember when it was actually officially announced in that sense. I remember seeing it on the title screen when I was playing it last week. And then actually, this must have been with the update with Misango. And it was on the title screen. Oh, this event's happening at this time, and so you can click on it, you can read about it, and yeah. But I don't remember Nintendo ever going, "All right, get excited! This new timed event is coming for arms." You know,
exactly. Yeah, interesting.
it's been fun, and it ends Friday morning over here. So I'll play a few more matches in between. It'd be interesting to see if your progression is just it stays for that time. Like if I pick it up tomorrow evening, if I'll be exactly where I left off before this podcast, or I'll be back to like another stage 1. But I've kind of banked that, and I'm back. We'll see. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been cool. Cool. So, Colin,
I may have to try that out finally.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. But Colin, what have you been up to?
I've been delving into the realm of random games again.
Okay, so a bit more Ocarina of Time, is this?
No. I gave up on Ocarina because I went to play a random game. But actually, I knew I could beat. Because Ocarina of Time, you have to be very lucky because you have to get the answers for the order. And the randomizer doesn't really help with that. So I delved into a Pokemon game. I delved into Pokemon Emerald on Game Boy Advance. Randomized. The cool thing about this randomizer though is before you start it up, it will ask you what you want to be randomized.
Okay.
Yeah. So
you might have to walk me through this whole thing. I have no idea what a Pokemon randomized game would actually be.
Well,
I can kind of get the idea when you said it was Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
So
is it randomized gyms, or is it just randomized where Pokemon, like for instance, legendaries or different Pokemon are not in certain spots?
You can change it so you can, I think there's like there's three settings. There's the light randomization, which is just it randomizes a few of the Pokemon and some of the items. Medium randomization is it randomizes all the Pokemon, it changes all the items, but the core game stays the same. So gyms will be the same, although their Pokemon the trainers have are different. Extreme randomization is insane. It changes the typing of all the Pokemon. It changes their growth, the moves that they learn. It basically changes the entire game. So you can get you can find an Articuno at level 2 that does fighting moves.
Okay.
It's a fighting type now. That doesn't make sense. That to me is like the extreme end. I wouldn't go that far because to me it kind of breaks the game. So I chose medium. So I started the game up, did the beginning bit, and like the point where you get to choose your starter. And this is where the randomization kicked in and kicked in hard. I was like, okay, here we go. So I choose between the very first form of Metagross, which I'm not quite sure what it's called now.
Heracross?
No, it's like Metagross. Is it Belgium? I believe something like that. I choose between that, a Kabuto, or Raikou, one of the legendary dogs. Not a bad case for a starter, but I was like, okay.
It's a good roundup there.
So I chose Beldum in the end. I was like, I want a Pokemon that evolves for a starter. That kind of makes sense. Not realizing that still Pokemon take forever to evolve. Like they're long-term projects. They are. So yes, the game has been very, very fun, very interesting. I met Groudon, the cover Pokemon for Omega Ruby, in the first area. He's level 4. I was like, oh, there he is. I'll just
That's it. Just like you can have a legendary like so at that level.
You see, well, I realized you can't really catch him with a Pokeball. He's kind of still beyond that, even though he had no health, and I was like just hurling Pokeballs at him. That he just broke out of it straight away every time. I was like, I need to come back here when I have like a Great Ball at least. Yeah, the gyms have been interesting because they're in all Pokemon games, like each gym's themed around the typing. So it's like, oh, this is the fire gym, this is the grass gym. That kind of goes out the window because all the trainers have random Pokemon. So it's like, oh, this is the fire gym. We're all going to use fighting types, water types, and it's hard to like prepare for each gym. There's been a recurring thing where all the gym leaders have Butterfree for some reason.
Wait, they all have Butterfree, or they just have Butterfree in their party? They have
Butterfree in their party. I like that part of the randomization that every gym leader has to have a Butterfree, and they're freaking strong as well. It's like
that's so odd. Just like you go into like, wow, these gym leaders in this randomized version have like the same one, like in their party, the same Pokemon. Like, what do they have? Like a Charizard or a Blastoise? No, they have Butterfree.
Butterfree.
Okay, that's
odd choice. But it's kind of fun because you can bump into a random trainer. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm lost in the woods or something," and he throws out like Suicune. It's like, okay, it's like, where did you find this? Fish Pokemon no longer in the sea. You can find them just by walking around.
Which I assume by the same nature you can fish out anything.
Oh, I have fished out a couple of Pikachus. Just randomly. It's been fun. I'm kind of worried though because I can't remember in that game if the Master Ball is given to you or if it's like an item on the ground that you pick up. If it's an item on the ground that you pick up, then it could be anywhere because all the items are randomized. So I'm thinking, great.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
At first, I thought you meant like, was it like a hidden, like not a hidden item in Pokemon sense, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like if you do the extreme randomization as well, the gym leaders don't give you badges. They become part of the random item itemization. I'm thinking, how the heck are you meant to progress then? If you can't...
Can you just like buy random things from the store in that scene?
In extreme, maybe. But in the one I've got, the stores are the same. But yeah, it's interesting.
Keep buying Pokeballs until you get Master
Ball. Oh, frankly, that's what we're doing. It's just like, I need money. It's hard. I will say it is like Pokemon in. It's basically like the Master Quest really version of Pokemon. It's insane.
Which
It really is. But it's fun. It's fun. Definitely
They
fun.
should actually do that.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
I assume they haven't actually done a hard mode in any of the Pokemon games. That I can think of. I mean, there's post-game stuff, but they've never done a. All right, now the whole world's harder.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, they should do that.
Also, the other thing, how has Pokemon never done a new game plus mode?
That is bizarre. It's kind of built for it as well.
Yeah, you just roll back with your old team. Well, not just your old team, but you have available everyone else you can make to new teams, and everyone is just now like level 70s, 80s, 90s, and the high 90s.
Mental. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just tweaking the numbers as well, basically.
Hopefully that's something in the Switch Pokemon title or something like that, because again, well, actually, wait, yeah, in the current versions you can only have one save file, right? Still,
this is true.
Correct.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I was trying to think, like, did they change it up in Sun and Moon? And
No, which means even if they stick by that rule, in theory, putting on the Switch will break it in the very sense that you at least have one save file per profile.
Oh yeah.
So at the very least, you could just set up a new profile and go, all right, here I've got my second Pokemon save file now.
Yeah, you are right about that. It just, if you do feel that sense, it's like, hey, just one of your many profiles you have on there. Like for me, for when I have to review games, I have to have a different region for each one. Like I have one for Australia, I have one for Europe. And I will tell you though, when I had to get like one for Australia, I was like, what other email do I have left? And luckily I had my two one.
Running out of email addresses.
Yeah, so I have three email addresses to this. So, but yeah, no, that'd be one option to do, just to switch profiles.
Yeah,
but it'd be kind of cumbersome, but you would want to keep it on the same file. But yeah.
Oh, true. But I mean, if for the people who, really want more than one save file, I mean, it's not that much extra effort they go through. Like if they were determined, all right, nah, you still get the one save file. It's like, it's so easy now.
But yeah, basically, yeah. So that's what I've been up to, really. I'd like to end though by saying I did fish out a Mewtwo.
Ooh.
Which is that's my greatest achievement in a random Pokemon. I fished out Mewtwo. I was like, there you go.
Is he part of the team?
No, I couldn't catch him. Because I only had Pokeballs at the time. It seems like
what level was
they
he?
seem to have made it restrict.
Mewtwo
like
you fished out.
12? Yeah.
12?
He's very low level. Yeah, he's very low level.
Yeah. What happened?
I killed him.
So I thought the situation happened the other way around. Like he.
I mean, like, yeah, he was tough. He was tough, but yeah,
he was a tough little 12 Mewtwo.
He was.
Yeah. We all know Mewtwo's come from the sea,
stuck in the water. Yeah, but yeah, it's bizarre.
I believe I could be wrong here. I might be making this up, but I think there might be a scene in Pokemon the first movie.
Okay.
Where you see Mew essentially swimming in the sea in a bubble as like one of the first shots.
Yeah, but it's in a bubble. That doesn't count, does it?
Yeah, but I'm sure a fishing rock cook would penetrate that bubble, startle the Mew, get caught in the line, and you ring up.
It's kind of funny. I was having a discussion with
level 12 Mew.
As a discussion friend, should Mewtwo count in the Pokedex as a Pokemon?
What? Because he's claimed.
As
much as Polygon does.
Is it? That's a good point. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Even more so.
Yeah, he's man-made as well. Yeah, that's bizarre. But see, so should they count?
It counts.
I mean, they haven't seemed to have gone overboard with it. Like, there's not like as many artificial Pokemon as there are real ones, so it must be. I don't know what the complexities are in the Pokemon world in creating artificial life in that sense, but I think it's fine for now. Maybe we'll have to reevaluate later if it gets out of hand, though.
Yeah, there you go.
Food for thought. Let's, however, jump into some Nintendo news and kind of sticking with the theme of game updates. At least what I was talking about. We have announcement of some pretty big updates for Splatoon 2. So much so that I'm going to have to break these down here. Let's load this page up.
Yeah, it is quite a beefy update, and one that is actually a correction that we've been kind of complaining about that is actually changing and showing that maybe Nintendo is actually listening to its fans when it comes to things like this,
which is nice. Yeah.
So this update, it's broken up into two updates essentially. So you've got one which comes out tomorrow, 23rd of November. And on this update, you get these goodies, which is you get 4 new battle stages, 4 of them. And in tomorrow's update, you get a new salmon run stage. 5 stages.
That's fine.
I need to get back into salmon run so bad. It's so much fun.
Approximately 140 pieces of new gear. You get some new battle music, which is obviously very important. Splatoon battle music is very good.
The one
not biased at all here.
The one that they had, I think I saw like some YouTube video of it, whatever it is adding more and more to how great this, like a wide variety of selection of the Splatoon series has, and I think it's getting up there as far as like when it comes to musically, it's up there as I feel like is Nintendo's best.
Yeah, well, let's listen to this description about the battle music. 2 new bands have gained popularity in Inkopolis. The punk-flavored Bottom Feeders and classically trained avant-garde style Ink Theory are contributing new songs to the already music-rich game.
I feel like it's going to be. I feel like in the inevitable third game, you know, you have like the 2 people, like whether it's Callie Marie and then you have Pearl Marina. I feel like in the next one, it maybe kind of focus more of on like a band, sort of like a rock, like a portion of whatever people getting in there. But I don't know.
Yeah, I could totally see that. Like, I mean, I guess they kind of already are like front men, as it were, of a band, but it's just been of a kind of more J-poppy female front lead than a.
That is true. That is true.
Than like a Western perspective of a rock star type lead, or 2 leads like that. But I reckon we could see something similar. Anyway, so completely different to rock stars. We got hairstyles to talk about. New hairstyles.
Got bangs. Got some bangs.
And I guess the reason why this is slightly important is currently your hairstyle is kind of limited to 4 options.
Right.
So this is like outside of like your like the clothing stuff you can buy in the shops. This is like part of your base model, and you could choose between like what sort of hairstyle you want. And so yeah, because the fact that they're adding 4 new ones, that actually, as long as I'm right thinking there's already 4, it doubles your options, which will mean, you know, there's going to be a greater variety of different types of inklings around.
Reasons to be excited, folks. More hair.
I think it's cool.
I just felt like I had more than just 4 extra types. They could go all out.
There was only 4 anyway. These are kind of only base things. You can still like put things on their head and such afterwards, and the colour will change depending on what ink you are. Anyway, it's only one more. That's only one bullet point. Let's move on to the next bit, Colin. See if this excites you. We've got higher level caps. Currently, you can only get to a measly level 50. And I'm nowhere near getting 50 yet. But
I think I'm near like 12, and that's just me kind of just going into non-ranked matches. So
yeah, I think I'm 30 something, low 30s. But my goal was a 50, but now you can now get all the way up to level 99,
right?
Which will be must take a huge amount of time. And then on top of that, when you hit level 99, you can then talk to Judd, get your level reset to level 1, have a little star symbol next to it, and do the whole thing all over again.
Splatoon's version of prestige mode.
Yes.
Pretty much, yep.
Which means at least I'm hoping they've got a lot of more updates planned for the future to back that up. For any type of audience, you need a lot of stuff.
Well, they're doing these updates until, like they said, from game updates from up until like a year of the release, and then Splatfest 2 years from the release of the game. So we've got at least another 8 months worth of updates probably coming this way.
The thing is, I feel like they put so much into this one, they're going to like space them out by quite a margin.
Possibly, yeah, we might get
huge dumps of like
place of little trickles,
yeah,
which works.
I'll be that's fine.
I've not actually read this one yet, so let's read it together. The subject: new amiibo functionality.
Oh no!
What could this be? It could be anyway. Tapping a compatible amiibo figure after the update will let players take and share in-game photos in preset locations in battle stages. In addition to being able to take photos in Inkopolis Square, players can also add fun filters to their images.
So you can.
So this is expanding what they already had, basically.
They are, and I think they're taking off from what what even Breath of the Wild, even Mario Odyssey had right there in their own photo mode. So
they're pushing it hard. Like kind of like here, take pictures of everything. It's like
and they realized the point of like knowing with the end of Miiverse and when it comes to their sharing options, whether it's video and like still images, just limiting mostly like what they have through Facebook and Twitter. That at least is there to actually reach out more of an audience when people are seeing all these photos.
Can I quickly say something about the end of Miiverse?
Yeah.
Although everyone's turned on their Wii U since Miiverse has like died, but it's a sad place now.
Is it just because it's back to like when you take it out of the box, but you've yet to plug it up to the internet? Look.
Yes, it's just you. None of your friends are there anymore. It's just you and all the like the Nintendo robots bees just being like, "Hey, you can make calls online," and it still advertises Miiverse. Like, you'll talk to your friends through Miiverse. It's like,
the funny thing is, I've actually experienced that by, let's say, I had a second Wii U, and for some reason didn't really plug it up to the internet because it was weird. So it would have been stuck in that state for quite a period of time. I've kind of not completely. I mean, I've not touched that second Wii U in a while. But yeah, it was in that state.
It's a sad state.
So, yeah,
so I can relate.
You've foregone basically the whole update when everybody had to pitch that in on the first day in the Wii U, which by the way celebrated its 5-year anniversary just a couple days ago. And yay. Sad. But no, it's like that day when you get it, you had to update like that long update. So it's like I have this new console. And I gotta wait to update for about an hour and a half. Yay!
Yeah, it's insane, but it's sad. It's just I don't know, it's lonely.
But yeah, what else is there in the updates though?
What else is new? We have convenient gear swapping.
Yes.
Again, never one I've actually dug into yet, but sounds. Is it what we think? Okay. Players that want to change gear between battles in regular battle, ranked battle, and Splatfest battle solo won't have to exit the lobby anymore. After downloading the update, gear can be swapped out without leaving the match room, making it quicker to get back to splatting for regular battle. This also means players can play the next battle with the same players. We're going to get a round of applause?
Yay!
One of the obvious criticisms I thought for this online is the fact that you had to kind of go out of the lobby to actually change your own gear. So once you're online, the gear that you had on there is what you fought on, like in online matches. And to finally get this on here to be done, it kind of just shows, like I said, I guess Nintendo is listening to fans when it comes to things like this. So I mean, it's nice to see that.
Yeah,
this is really good. And this is just kind of part one of ultimately a 2-part update, which is landing, and all this stuff happens. Pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff going on there, especially with the, I guess the 4 battle stages on their own.
Yeah, definitely.
Lots of other little details which on their own wouldn't be much in an update, but all together, it's like, oh, this is going to be... As even Splatoon 2 makes fun of in the intro bits, it's quite the literal game changer. We do have more news, though, on the second bit of the update, which is currently 1 bullet point. But it's a fairly big one, which is there's a new mode, a new rank mode, which is called Clan Blitz. And the idea of this mode is essentially there are, I'm paraphrasing here, I'm not going to read the whole thing. There are clams scattered around the stage, which you can collect, and then they trail behind you. And you have a goal in your side and the opponent's side, and you have to get yourself and some clams to your opponent's goal, and you drop your clams in, and then you get a point for each clam, let's say, and then the team with the most points at the end wins. So
there you go.
There you go. However, I know when they did the trailer for essentially this update, I'm sure I saw some other kind of battle modes which had like almost like rugby balls and other types of balls and hoops and such. I'm not sure if they're related to this or it's something else they've not announced yet and they just teased.
possible.
But it sounds like a cool mode. It does seem a little bit different to the other modes in terms of. I think there's like less of a core, like reliance on the core mechanic of like.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It feels like it's because do you still have to like swim through ink?
Well, yeah, you would anyway, because that does affect your movement drastically. Because inklings walk very slowly, and so they want to be swimming through the ink. And so I guess how it may work is you make like lanes to
like sprint lanes,
your opponents. Essentially, yeah, and like so you would have to like make sure your lane stays intact. The enemies aren't camping on your lane or destroying your lane, and in the same way, you should be destroying their lane. You should be camping on their lane, stopping them coming through while letting your team get through successfully. So I imagine, like, I find most of the rank modes in Splatoon, I'd say there's only 3 of them, all of them so far, are they have really good replayability if you like that sort of gameplay, just because I find most matches do feel different. They do kind of wrap up in a different way than you're necessarily expecting. It's not always like, all right, the team who has, the big push at the beginning is going to win it. It's very rarely that case. There's always chance for the other person or the other team to make a pushback late minute and not feel cheap about it. And so hopefully this fits into that sort of place as well with those other rank modes. But yeah, that's mid-December, so that's not terribly far away either.
Too far away.
So this is all really cool.
I think they could have like made a very quick video package of like this update and the ARMS update just together and say like, look at the stuff we got coming out. It's very odd they didn't do that.
Well, I think it's for something like to get these, even with these games are pretty much complete when you have them out of the box. It's just to kind of keep these games to continue to grow. And it's, aside from these multiplayer specific games, it's one thing I kind of hope for, at least for even Mario Odyssey, like whether it's adding new ways to find power moons or just new kingdoms. But it's the idea of like, you have these good games out here, but don't stop there. Let them continue to grow.
Definitely.
So in this one, in the case of Splatoon, they are doing well and above right now, continuing to make this grow, and even listening to fan concerns of certain things that we've been waiting for, such as swapping gear after matches without having to go to the lobby.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It does seem like there's a little bit of something for every type of Splatoon player. Like as long as you're a type of Splatoon player, like if you play it like incredibly amounts and you're being at level 50 for ages. Like if you see the news that you can get to 99 and prestige afterwards, that must just like make your day. It's like, oh, that's amazing. But in the same sense, like I bet there's people out there just excited about new hairstyles. I can get to dress up my main character better to who I am or who my character is, sort of thing. And then you got the rank modes, and anyway, it covers all the bases, which is good. Let's move on then. Next piece of news we have. That's how you do a segue, people on a podcast. Just say next piece of news.
Just like let's move along now.
Lewis is a pro at that, by the way.
I'm a pro. I can almost effortlessly, like that word, move from one Nintendo topic to another by just going, no, never bit of news. That bit of news. Awards, Game Awards, Breath of the Wild. Woo! It's already won some. Not the Game Awards, of course. We've got Golden Joysticks has announced Zelda Breath of the Wild, its Game of the Year. As long as I'm reading this correct. And the same for Time Magazine.
Dun, dun, dun. One is slightly more like prestigious than the other, I feel. Time Magazine's like cool, but I don't like. I mean, yeah, great, but I feel like the Golden Joysticks are more higher up there. You know what I mean? When it comes to
I think it depends on your audience. I think you give those two names to different people, and some would go, "Oh, Time is definitely the most prestigious there." Who's Golden Joystick?
But I don't think
I've heard of Time. I've not heard of this.
Time audience really cares, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
Oh, is that no? I think that works. Like you read Time. Oh, Zelda is Game of the Year. I've heard of Zelda. Okay, I understand. That's a good game. I can tell my son. I heard Zelda's a very good game.
Well, is this going to be evident of like what turns the tide of whatever between like whether it's Odyssey or even Breath of the Wild? But then again, granted, anything like from like Horizon or even Nier or like anything else that we could probably think, or even Persona 5 that could just make it and take the crown, whatever, a thing like this. I mean, it's all slightly possible. But did any of you see the Zelda team and Eiji Aonuma respond after winning the I think it's called the Ultimate Game or the Game of the Year for the Golden Joystick Awards? What he had said. Like,
no, I don't know.
No. He says, in like, him and the team, like Aonuma says, "I'm a little relieved that Super Mario Odyssey had only been out for a week when voting ended."
Indeed.
Yeah, and speaking of everybody else, like for like because Time listed like their top 10 games of the year, Mario Odyssey actually finished second on there, and
Wow.
I want to say what also ended yeah, there was a third game on there, but this was basically the top 10.
That's coming from Anuma's kind of interesting. It kind of shows you that they do kind of care about these awards. It's not just a throwaway thing to them.
Oh, I bet they do.
Yeah,
the amount of care and attention that they put in games, they will delay games due to quality reasons as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They do generally care, and they've sourced like even more so. Well, more so recently, they have been quoting things like, "Oh, the Metacritic rating of this game."
That's right. Yeah. The accolades are a big thing.
Well.
Yeah, nowadays I noticed.
Yeah, whether they talk about it much or not, I reckon they do actually quite care about things like Game Awards. Whether it's whether it would make the game sell better or not, I think they get a sense of pride going, oh yeah, our games are winning awards. We work very hard on our games.
No, this was the top 10 that they had on here. If I'm reading this right here, number 10 was Destiny 2, 9 Horizon Zero Dawn, number 8 Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Number 7 PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, 6 Cuphead, 5 Persona 5, 4 Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. Number 3, What Remains of Edith Finch. Number 2, Super Mario Odyssey, and of course, number 1 was The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. So
that's to say top 2 spots is insane.
Yeah,
that's a good list. Yeah. I like it.
Well,
it's like I'm happy with that list.
Yeah, that's a pretty good list.
Yeah, Mario Rabbids. That's higher than I thought it'd be, but okay.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I liked it. Let's jump over. See, there we go. Did it again. Perfect. Some more news. There we go. Simple as that. We've heard some rumblings on the next Pokemon game, and this one actually comes from the Easy Allies podcast. A little snippet in there.
I haven't listened to that. That's actually part of who is it? The guy that did the voiceovers for the game for game trailers.
Yeah, well, not just the guy, but basically a whole bunch of people who used to be in game trailers, when they closed down, formed this place called Easy Allies. And so I guess a quick bit of that is one of the people I really liked from game trailers, and not to dismiss the others, was Kyle Bosman. I really appreciated his videos. He doesn't do that sort of stuff anymore, but he still does stuff, which is cool. You can still watch new Kyle Bosman stuff. Go to Easy Allies. But yeah, in one of their podcasts, one of the members called Damiani, apologies if I've mispronounced that, I feel I have, was talking about the new Pokemon game, and he's heard, in his words from a trusted source, that due to the success of both Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, the Pokemon Company is looking to take more of a disruptive approach in the game design for the next Pokemon game.
That's interesting. They cite Mario Odyssey. I feel like Breath of the Wild's a way more changing of the standard,
Well, they are, but Odyssey I felt like was a more return to that sandbox style. But also, the one thing you're looking at as far as Odyssey is that it's not just a return to that, but it's the capture mechanic that you have with Cappy that really makes up the whole of the entire environment and what it does. I mean, it's still that same sandbox style, but with just a different way for Mario to, defend himself. But no, but you're right. I would say that Breath of the Wild was the one that definitely just threw
They
out.
Kind of rewrote the book on Zelda.
Yeah, they threw out the majority of the Zelda conventions and just look what we got. Now, in the case of Pokemon, I don't know. I mean, what could they do as far as something like? Could they maybe have the point of being like, "Hey, let's have either an offline MMO or a major, like a really well done, like a massively online RPG." What we have with this, but with Pokemon.
Mhm.
So because I know some people have been out there like playing like Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and I really do feel like there has to be some bit of a change in the Pokemon formula to kind of make me just get more excited. I mean, the thing that got me excited about Sun and Moon was the changes that they did make for how you view the game, and of course the new Alolan forms, and I don't know, and the doing away of gyms. That's a start.
Yeah.
Now take that a little bit further, and where are they going to go? But would that?
The one thing I've always watched Pokemon games is they need to completely like gut the story out, take the story part and just move it away, make it a game where it's like boom, here's your starter, off you go fill out your Pokedex. I don't feel like Pokemon's a game that necessarily needs a story, because every Pokemon story basically comes down to the same thing: the end of the world is coming or something like that, and a 10-year-old with 6 Pokemon is going to stop it.
So is the problem not just the type of story they tell, and not the fact it has a story, and it's just a very similar theme each time?
No, it's just the story.
No story. So I guess in a sense you could take a Breath of the Wild type approach to its story, where you do like a little bit of setup. So you could still have an equivalent of.
I think you need to have a goal,
and then when you get past it, you're like, all right, go off, do what you want. If you want to go to the Elite Four, do it.
You're thinking of like Zelda, but Breath of the Wild. Like you have to do the beginning section where it's like,
so you do some like bits. Like I think there's some bits that you
kind of like
need to establish,
kind of thing. Then the game sort of unfolds. It's like,
and then it's like not like a hierarchy of gyms. It's like you do have a bunch of gyms out in the world, but you can also just go to, all right, I want to face the Grandmaster, and if it makes no sense. Like he's just
level 5 Charmander,
exactly, and you're just going to get defeated. But it will still give the option, and then you can take him on when you feel ready, as it were, and say, "Oh, right, I've got to do a couple more gyms." If you were like super powered up anyway. But yeah, I mean, I guess, is there any other ideas we'd like to see, or like what comes to mind when we think of a disruptive Pokemon game? Is there any other aspects they could be thinking of which we've not yet?
Honestly, I feel like they could borrow a lot from the console Pokemon games and include them into the handheld RPGs. Colosseum. I feel like Colosseum had a really cool idea of you're a character who was a bit older, and he had a vehicle that he could travel around in from location to location. I feel like they turned that game into a full like Pokemon RPG rather than being the small linear game that it was. That could have been awesome. That's a really cool direction for them to take.
But if we're going to change the formula and just gut it as much as possible but still have the mechanics of like, here's this new form of Pokemon, and here's how you can fill up your Pokedex, and just go off into the world. How disruptive would it have to be enough to not turn off longtime fans? Those who just
that's the balance. That's a tricky line you got to walk.
That just stay with Pokemon One. Like I have a friend he only plays Pokemon games. That is it on his handheld. That is all he plays. And even for me, when I give him pleas to play, like, hey man, here's this game of 3 you can borrow. Play this.
Mm-hmm.
But in the case of this one though, it just, do you want to change it so much where it just you don't want to turn them away from it? I mean, when we were dealing with Zelda, for instance, I think it was pretty much well intended from the entire fan base that, we liked what we've had with these past Zelda games, but the time is now to change up the formula. Because, in this case, it needs to happen.
I think we mentioned it before, and it's like, because Pokemon's been around for like over 20 years. I feel like they do need to like refresh everything. I would be happy if they were like, right, we're scrapping everything, we're going back to basics. We're going back to, we're rebooting the whole franchise, we'll go back to 150, whatever. I'll be happy with that. But yeah, if they really want to change it up, I just feel like the Colosseum route would be a good way to go. But there we are.
Yeah, well, we do have a little bit of extra Pokemon news. It's not about the Switch release. It's about something else entirely. We've had a new trademark from Nintendo, I believe. Yeah, it's actually Nintendo, not the Pokemon Company. It's applied for a trademark for Pikachu Talk, which is going to be something which interacts with, or actually is for an app which interacts with Google Home and Amazon Alexa. And there's a lot of Japanese characters and text to accompany this, but I don't know Japanese. I can't tell you if there's any useful details.
I have deciphered it, and it is...
No, it's also an image, so I can't even copy and paste it. But yeah, so like the thing which comes to mind, surely they're not trying to do some sort of middleman AI thing where you ask Pikachu questions.
That'd be so weird.
Instead of
instead of like Alexa answering you, it's Pikachu.
But
Pikachu actually talks.
Pika. Well, like that could be one thing.
Pikachu can talk now, apparently. So it's like anything could happen.
Like we discussed last week, he can talk.
Madness. All coming soon.
Any other ideas? Like, I mean, surely it's not that, because I don't even like. Is that a good thing?
If this app lets you order a pizza through Pikachu, then
yeah, but I mean, where's the novelty? Like, you go, oh, Pikachu, order me a pizza, and then Pikachu goes, Pika Pika, and then a pizza. Oh, okay, that's quite cool. So any command you give it, Pika Pika, and then it happens some point in the future.
It's just like, here's a pizza.
It is like very clever the fact that it doesn't have to give you any sort of specifics. It's just it says Pika Pika, and then at some point the thing happens, and you go, all right, I'll give it some leeway because it just said Pika Pika.
Oh no! What?
Something I just want to quickly shout out. It's a bit unrelated. Green Moblin's just leaving the chat. I just wanted to mention something that he did, which is Harrison and myself has been thrown a challenge. In Super Mario Odyssey, and specifically there is 2 of the high score mini games. It doesn't actually say which ones. Just to beat his scores. We're both friends, so that is our challenge for next week. We've got to see how well we can do.
I will do my best to try to get on that as in the little time I have each day. So
exactly.
He has thrown me a challenge as well.
Oh really? What's your challenge? What's your personalised challenge from Green Muffin?
To buy a Switch.
To buy a Switch?
to actually purchase a Switch. It's in the books.
Okay.
I thought you said Bio Switch, which I was like really close to Bio.
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
That's an interesting new Ken Levine game in the works, I imagine. Exclusive. Bio Switch. Yeah, it's just another $60 remaster, isn't it? Never mind.
But do we have any more news left on the docket?
I don't believe so, unless that was deliberately. There is a little bit of extra news, isn't there? How could one forget such?
A big piece of news.
It is a big piece of news. Valkyria Chronicles number 4 has been announced for Nintendo Switch as well as other platforms.
Yeah.
What's our background with Valkyria Chronicles? Have we all played?
Yes.
I have not, but I respect it. But I've heard some good things about this. So.
I've completed the first. I've dabbled with the second on PSP, but I never did get on. And basically, I've not touched the series since. But I am excited to see a numbered Valkyria game come back to consoles.
Well, it's interesting because I played the first 2, but I think R2 was like not actually like Valkyria Chronicles 2. It's one of those weird things where they changed the numbering.
So yeah, it's interesting that this is great that we're getting a big franchise. I mean, it's huge in Japan. It's absolutely huge in Japan. It's great that the Switch is getting it. The weird thing is the discrepancy, the time discrepancy between the Switch version and other platforms, because there is a bit of a gap.
There is a little bit of a gap. So in Europe, in Europe and Americas, coming out in 2018 for Xbox One, PS4, and Nintendo Switch. Am I reading this right? Japan will not be getting the Xbox One version, but they will be getting it on PS4 on March 2018, and the Switch in summer 2018.
The interesting thing is here is like, will that apply to us as well? Like the time difference. It's kind of like, why is there such a big gap between?
At least I would hope that because the Western releases are coming after both of those versions are out, then all versions come out on the same date for the Western release.
You would hope so, yeah.
Just because, like, surely the extra time is development time. Like, oh, they started the port later in development for the Switch than the other versions, so they're basically playing catch up. But once the game's done, the game's done. The localization should hopefully take the same amount of time for any system.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully over here at least we'll have the Switch version come alongside the PS4 and the Xbox One versions. Day and date. Yeah, I do kind of hope, because I feel critically the Valkyria series has seriously dropped off. Like, the first game is like well renowned still, but I don't hear many people talk about 2 and 3. And there was also a recent Valkyria game which didn't have a number to it, which was quite different. It was
like Revolution,
which also was very poorly received. So I'm hoping number 4 kind of stays more true to its origins in its hybrid nature of being a strategy game mixed with an actual third-person shooter.
Yeah.
But it actually still being a turn-based strategy game.
I always put it. It's almost an equivalent of like a 3D Advance Wars. With like
it is basically 3D Advance Wars with a very cool art style. If the first game's anything to go by, genuinely good story, well-developed characters, like on a surprisingly complex storyline
of a civil war.
Yeah, very cool game. And if it gets anywhere near the heights of the first game, this is going to be fantastic. So
we can hope.
Okay,
this is a fingers crossed one. This is, please, this could be amazing.
Well, for 2018, between Project Octopath Traveler and Shin Megami Tensei 5, the JRPG lineup for this one is growing, and hopefully it continues to grow even more.
Yeah, definitely. And the third party support for Switch overall is very solid, very solid. So,
yeah, I do think we're going to see some impressive JRPGs next year, and just kind of in the lifetime for this system.
I feel like the next E3, which is a long way away. But I feel
like, also not too long either.
It's like 7 months now. Yeah. Half a year. I would consider that a long way. I just, man, I think Switch is going to be a highlight in the next E3. It really will, because if support's being shown ready for it, I feel like so many people are going to jump on that come next year. So,
yeah, I'm seeing some definite. At the very least, big Japanese third-party exclusives are going to be dropped on E3 for the Switch.
Capcom, work on that Monster Hunter for Switch. Get it done.
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Now you're talking. I think it's possible. I don't write it off yet. No. I think Worlds is kind of a done deal, but I think there could be something just as equally, as interesting and traditional, which could just land on the Switch. Go, all right, here's your big Monster Hunter game.
Yeah. It's the perfect platform for it. Yeah.
And that is actually going to do it for our news. There isn't, as far as I'm aware, an extra piece of news I've forgotten to go through, despite it being a follow-up to one of my favorite games ever. No, there's definitely not one of those. that's going to do it for today's show. But before we go, we're going to do our little usual thing. We'll give out our details on how you can get hold of us if you would be so inclined. I'm not sure why. But also, anything else interesting we've been up to, we can plug. This is our feature. This is our time to shine in that sense. And so, Harrison, how can the fine folks of the internet get hold of you? I'm not going to ask you why, they should, but...
Why? I mean, well, why? Why? If you just want to talk to me, I'm friendly. Anybody can help.
All right, I'm going to ask everyone why, including myself. Go on. You did very well.
Thank you. You can reach me at Twitter at @hmilfeld, and if you want to become friends with me on Twitch, I have my friend code pinned to the top of my profile.
That's awful, though. The friend code thing is that. I'm surprised I haven't changed that.
Or which, by the way, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp did release today, so I know we'll talk about that a lot next week. But still, I'll be posting a lot of that over the Thanksgiving weekend. So
the worst thing about that friend code bit is I thought I heard you say friend cone, and I was envisioning a friend cone.
I will make you my friend. Just stick it on something.
I actually could picture a little Nintendo badge on the friend cone, like that's the sort of product that our customers would enjoy. Here, have the friend cone for the whole family. Sorry.
Oh my god.
Okay. Was there anything else you wanted to mention?
No. Just be on the lookout for my review of Rocket League, which more than like on purenintendo.com, which will hopefully be being posted on Friday if the WordPress does not decide to like short out on us during this whole busy weekend with Black Friday. But yeah, so
possible.
We got you there.
Okay. And yourself, Colin. How can we get hold of you, and more importantly, why?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at HighlyUnBarred. The why? I don't know. If you've got like 10 minutes you want to kill, I'll entertain you.
You're a good time killer.
I've been called worse. So,
yeah. Killer. That would be worse, at least.
Yeah, a little bit. And yeah, or if you want to really kill some time, 6 p.m. UK time, you can find my streams. Yeah, there you go. That's how you slide in. There you go. Yeah.
Okay. For myself, if you want to get hold of me, that's the first part of the question. You can do so on Twitter at Luvion, Luvsion.
I also thought the way you worded that, I was like, you could give me a number. Just like, if you want to get hold of me, here's my number.
Here are my digits. Here's a dialer. You type them in. You call it. I speak to you. It's a great new service. It's a new Patreon tier. I give out my phone number, and you get to use it, or you get to abuse it until I get annoyed and I get a burner phone. And that number no longer works.
There you go.
But if you're still paying subscriber, you get the new number. And so it's a very bizarre system. If you think that's a good idea, let me know. If I get a single email saying yes, I would do it. It would never be used. Why should you?
Why, Lewis?
Seek me out. Why I'm not a very good time killer because I don't post much on Twitter.
We have our Patreon exclusive stuff that people like to check you out, and you're a developer. People like to ask you questions.
If you've got money and you want me to make a game, I'm your man. Maybe we can make a game on one of these. That would be cool.
Oh God!
There could be someone out there, Colin. You're just thinking that this is some pure money grabbing scheme, but what about the integrity of the creation of art? Surely it could be a pitch for that. However, if you also want to hear some of my ramblings, I do have a somewhat one-man show going on Patreon, a one-man Nintendo Voice podcast, Nintendo Voice Extra. I'm doing episode number 2 tomorrow.
Cool.
So do check it out. It's for members who are on $5 or more on Patreon. So if you'd like to get an extra Nintendo Voice episode every week, please do check it out. And the site to go to is patreon.com/Nintendo Voice. And you can check that out and more. And of course, you can send us super topics as well. We've got one waiting to go, which hopefully will get around next week. But please do send us lots of juicy super topics to go through. Especially the juicy ones. They're the ones I personally enjoy the most. that does naturally take us to the end of the show with the repeated word of the word juicy. So thanks once again for listening. And this has been Nintendo Voice.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and take care.
Yeah, have a juicy day, everybody.